All right, today is a more generic tutorial on working with clear stampers. I see this question get asked a lot. A lot of people, especially those new to stamping, have a lot of trouble picking up images using the clear stamper. And there are definitely some tips and tricks that are helpful when learning to stamp with a clear stamper. It used to be before the advent of the clear stampers that for me a sticky marshmallow stamper worked the best. And the pickup there was really quite different because there you could just smash down and it would pick up, and you didn't have to worry about the pressure or the motion or really anything else. It just picked up. But then you couldn't see through it to place. And for me, the best way to do that is to place the back of the nail on there and try to place it as best you can, like that. But with the advent of the clear stampers, and it doesn't really matter what kind. I have the Born Pretty, the shrinking one, which has a really sort of squishy stamper on the bottom that's not clear, and then a clear one on top. I have these rectangular ones that pick up great. The Creative Shop is a new one that I have that really picks up great, and I'm not going to demonstrate with that because that picks up everything really well. So let's talk about priming. A lot of people talk about, well, you need to prime your clear stampers. And I have not found that to be the case, especially with the newer stampers. Really, all you should need to do is just roll it across a lint roller to just pick up any debris or anything from the manufacturing and shipping process. And really, that should be good to go. If you have trouble with it, like the Creative Shop one, comes with instructions that say to wash it with any soap before first use and then clean it with lint roller or sticky tape. And I did that for the Creative Shop one, and I washed it with Dawn dish soap, but you can wash it with any sort of dish soap, let it air dry or wipe on a paper towel, and then use the lint roller on it to pick up anything. Now, some people talk about buffing it slightly with a really fine grit file or glass file or something of that sort. And that will work, but what it does is, especially with repeated use of that, or if you use too harsh of a grit, then what it does is it creates these micro tears, and it causes the stamper to get cloudy. You can still see through and place it, but it's definitely not as clear as one that hasn't had that happen, right? So you can see the difference there. And that might be the case if you use acetone and alcohol, but if you use it once or twice, it's not that big of a deal. But you will definitely get this clouding if you do it too much, okay? But it does work. Is the annoying thing is that this is the original clear jelly stamper, Big Bling, that I started using for pigment stamping, and it does the same thing, creates these micro tears. And it didn't do it the first time, but I actually swatched a bunch of pigments with this one. I did it like 25 times, and this is what ended up happening to it. But the ironic thing is it picks up great. It actually picks up so much better than it did before it got the cloudiness. So it does work, okay? But just recognize that you might be getting the cloudiness, okay? So the other things that I would say is, so have some kind of cotton holder thingy, okay? There's cotton claws you can get. You can use a wooden clothespin. Right now I'm using this bigger plastic clothespin that I got from the Dollar Tree that's 6 to $1, and this plastic is acetone resistant, and it's nice and big and easy to hold for my arthritic hands, and it's pretty sturdy, so I quite like this one. But you can use whatever is comfortable for you, but find something, because if you're trying to clean the plate using cotton with your fingers, you're gonna mess up your other hand, okay? And use pure acetone, which is what I have in my Zoya Remove, to clean your plates, okay? Because if you use a non-acetone or a regular remover, those have oils or other additives that can cause a residue on the image after you clean it. It looks clean, but that residue could hamper good pickup, okay? And then the scraper. For most images, the scraper should not matter, okay? Whether you prefer a really sort of flexible one like the Creative Shop stamper like I do, or more rigid credit card type feeling one, it really shouldn't matter. I think the technique matters more. If you have a shallowly etched plate, then it might matter more, but for most plates these days, it really shouldn't matter, okay? The technique matters. You don't want to scrape really hard, and you don't want to scrape multiple times, because what you're doing is after the first pass, you're really gouging the polish out of the image and causing holes. And if you scrape too many times, the polish is drying on the plate as you're doing this, and now pickup won't be good, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate the technique here, okay? So I'm using the Moyra Black stamping polish, which I just got a bunch of in a group buy for cheap. And so it's just my go-to black stamping polish right now. And I'm using Lina Dress Your Nails 02 plate that I got for a review. And I'm going to use this because there's a bunch of different fine lines and some negative images ones. And so you can see the difference here, okay? So I am using the Born Pretty one, which a lot of people have. I'm going to demonstrate the technique here, okay? So for most images, unless it's a negative image like this that has a lot of the blank space that you're going to need more polish for the most part, you can put a nice thick stripe of polish across the top, or the half, okay? And then you're just going to scrape lightly once or twice only, and then roll gently across to pick up, okay? And you can see that picked up nicely, okay? So now I'm going to just use a lint roller to clean it, okay? All right. And going to demonstrate a few more. So on this one, I'm going to put a little bit more polish going down because it has a lot of image to color in, okay? So same thing, you're just going to scrape gently once or twice, right? And then roll gently across to pick up, okay? And again, okay. And you can see that picked up really well, and all the little fine lines in the flowers themselves are fine, and the black space around it doesn't have any holes, right? So what I see people doing a lot, and I'll show you what I see as being a problem, is so they'll put the polish on, and then for some reason they'll scrape a lot, okay? And while you're doing that, it's drying. And so when you do that, you're gonna end up with bald patches because you've taken too long to pick up. Okay. All right. And then the other thing that I see is, so we're gonna actually do both of these images here. So the other thing that I see people do is, so they might scrape okay, but they're scraping really hard. And then what they do is they Hulk smash down onto it really hard, okay? And that creates holes in your images, okay? You'll get a pickup, but it doesn't look, it doesn't look fully colored in like that. You will see these holes in the images. And I think that happens because when you Hulk smash like that, or press too hard, what happens is when you press down, you're picking up, okay? But then as you continue to press and press even more, you're actually then stamping part of the image back onto the plate, if that makes sense. So I think that that's why you get those holes, is that you're just pressing too hard, okay? So those are sort of the tricks and tips that I have. So once you get a good pickup on your stamper, and then now you're having trouble taking too long to place it on the nail. One good trick for that is just to use any type of sticky base coat, like Orly Bonder or C&D Sticky. There's a bunch of them out there, both indie and regular. And if you put that on your base before you stamp, okay, it will give you some extra time and it will allow you to make a really good transfer of your picked up image. You can take as long as you need to place it on there, because it will still stick to it even if this image is fully dry. Okay, so that gives you a little extra time, and that really helps for layering images as well, where you really want to try to like line up the image as well, or if you're doing double stamping and you want it to line up well. So that's a trick that I find that's really helpful. So anyway, I hope that helped you, and please leave me any questions in the comments. Thanks.